How to start a marketing agency. So whether you've been wanting to start a marketing agency for the longest time, but you haven't been willing to actually start it, I'm going to show you how simple it is to get your first client today through starting your own marketing agency and what you need to have. It is not a lot. You need literally a laptop, a computer, maybe $150 for ads, just so that you can get more and more people to know your name once you keep on producing content out. But relatively about it, that's it. And I'll just show you how to actually start getting more clients. Okay, so the first thing you need is, as I said, you need a phone, you need a laptop, and then that's it. All you need to have on these is literally CapCut, Word, Canva, maybe. Just get the free one for this and for this, as well as Excel, so then you can track your leads. So then you can then create your CRM. So then you know who you've called, what you've done, and how you've done it. So, and also Instagram is what I recommend, and YouTube too. That's it. Everything is free. So what you do on Instagram is start creating reels that start providing value to people. So you provide value. You also add more personality to the reels. So then you can start creating your personal brand through social media. And then from there, you also add into like ConverterKit, as well as like a Calendly. So then people can start to book calls. You keep on doing that, you keep on paying attention, you just keep on getting more and more people to pay attention to you, because no one's going to know that you're trying to sell anything unless you literally have to shove it down their fucking throat, so then they can understand what you're selling, who your target audience is, and who you're trying to do. But also, before you start creating reels, make sure you have a niche and who you want to target. Whether you want to target people who are in trades, high ticket, or other marketing agencies, for example. Because each different one has your own little nuance, and then you can then help them out. So if you think about it, so look at yourself. Think of you. What skills do I have available? What knowledge do I know? Who do I understand? And how can I help them get from point A all the way to point B in the easiest persuasive flow as possible, by creating the least amount of resistance while increasing the amount of quality leads that come in from there. So if you think of it like that, how can I help them out in that sort of way? What do I need to do to then get them from basically not knowing who you are all the way into wanting them to give you your money? Just remember what you have as a skill set, what prior knowledge. These are two very important things, because then this will determine your niche and your target market. Once you understand the people who you're trying to target at, this can then make your life a lot more easier, because then you understand their pain points, their needs, and their desires. Because these are all very, very important things that people need to learn. And these are very, very important for the sales cycle to actually occur, because you got to understand where they are in the sales cycle, whether they're all the way from unaware of the problem, all the way up to a bleeding neck problem, as I like to call scale 5. So we like to put the oceans of it accordingly. So you have 3 different sets of people. So you have basically 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are people who have serious pain. So they have serious pain, people who are aware of the pain, and people who are unaware of the pain. And I would not recommend targeting these guys at the moment. If you want to try the hardest, I would recommend targeting these people, because you will not have the skills to you at the moment, so you can target these two. But one thing you have to be aware of, everyone is targeting these people, because these are the easiest customers, and then they can swoop up the most money. So that is the most competitive field, but it's also the most driest. So once you start leveling up your skills, you then start to move back more and more and more, and then you can just increase to improve your ability and learn how to sell. So with your first funnel, I would recommend doing reels. Then from there, basically reels, page, then to your landing page or to your YouTube, then you can nurture them some more, then for them to your calendar, so then they can book, then to email, calendar, or they end up booking a call and joining, and then they convert to sell, or then basically email/SMS, so then you can nurture them up more and more and more, and then they end up booking a call and basically turning into a sale. It isn't that, it's pretty much that simple, and that's what you need to understand when you're actually doing your marketing agency. You can also go landing page to reels, depending on what type of customer they are, where they want to come from, and possibly using even a website to add to that. So then you can then send them to your landing page. Or then you go to like a low ticket product to landing page to basically buying a product, basically low ticket as like that thing basically hooks them in, and then they buy a loss leader, or could be also a lead generator, which may or may not make profit. Then you basically get them to basically convert over here, or some people just get them straight into the calendar, depending on how much pain they have, where they want to go, and how bad do they want it. So it very much depends on where they are in the sales cycle and what they want to do. It all depends on their pain and how they want to be perceived, where they are in the sales cycle, because that is very, very important, and you must understand that before you start basically, you throwing out a whole bunch of ads and not knowing what you're doing. But also remember, once you get your first lot of ads done, I would recommend doing about 10 or 20 or 30 different ads to begin with. So then you can understand where they are, where these people are. So then you can then basically put up the right psychological areas and see what problems these people have and how exactly you want to solve it. Because each different business has people in a different part of the sales cycle involved. Plus each different business has literally like an 80-20 principle for their clients. So 80% of their customers are stuck in either 1 to 2, or they are stuck in 3, or they are stuck in 4 to 5. You've got to understand where that mass market is for that market, and then where are these customers for that business. So 80%, let's just say 80% of the market's in here, which they should be, and then where do 80% of these businesses customers come from? 80% of them come from here, obviously. So you've got to understand, how can you make these people's problems apparent to them, and how can you basically make people aware of these? So then you can move them up from part A to part B, because 20% of their customers are probably right here. And you need to understand, where are they? How can you turn them up from not knowing who you are all the way into converting to cash and giving them the value that they need, so then they can then turn into a profitable sale and they can just continually turn. But you also do need to understand is, how much are you going to be spending on ads? How are you going to effectively communicate the issue to them? And as I said, how you can get them from point A to point B in the most effective path possible, so then they can literally turn there. Or also, the important thing to look at your addressable market and see what issues they have and how can you address them. Because even if you target them, it then gives you more and more sales, and then you can start seeing what the cause and effect is for all these problems, because then you can just start to layer it down. You're like, okay, these people have this is what they had before, they weren't aware of it here, and then we can just keep on following it down more and more and more, and then people can end up buying from you. Once you understand that, your key is golden. I can't really give you too much in your ICP and how to do that, because each one is bespoke to their own business, and each different business owner has their own different target audience based on how they're positioned in the market and how they are. So yeah, it all depends up to your problem, how you're trying to address it. It's the exact same way when you do your marketing to be your marketing agency. It's like, you got to address your target market in a certain way, so then they can then end up purchasing from you through a sales call, because then you got to understand what you do, how you do, and how effectively you will do it for them. So yeah, it's pretty simple. You just got to not make it complicated. Remember, everything in this game has layers. So it's like a wave. So as you can see, the wave goes up. So you start up from here, and then you go all the way down. So that's meant to be a wave. So then you go all the way down, and it's the exact same way for addressing your target market and also for addressing the pain point of your audience. I hope that helped. I hope that helps and make it simple enough, so then you people can start your actual marketing agency. Book a call down below and I can show you how. And plus, I can give you access to the skill sets to help you persuade people easier, so you don't have to spend hundreds of hours going through other courses and case studies just to understand what you got to do. Yes, you can do the effort, but honestly, in my opinion, it's easier just paying someone, giving people a couple grand, so then he can show you how to actually have a very, very high value skill, because you will never be broke once you understand marketing, because it is literally sales just on an exponential level. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one.